Hello everybody, it's your boy Hawka, the Counter-Strike Scholar, back with another video, this time with a response to a recent video by theScoreesports about whether the AWP is overpowered. So I guess to start with, I should talk about my overall thoughts on theScoreesports. In general, I don't mind their content. I do feel like they look to the community for ideas for their videos, and maybe sometimes the videos feel a little drawn out to me, but I get it. You gotta play the game sometimes. This video though, talking about whether there's an AWP problem in CSGO, I don't know, something about it just rubbed me the wrong way, and I wanted to offer some reply to some of the things that were said in the video. So let's give it a look. Before we get into the video, I am running a Christmassy / New Year's giveaway of a paracord knife Forest DD pack. Click the link in the pinned comment. If you're subscribed to the channel, you can get an entry and just follow me on some other stuff. You'll get entered into the giveaway. It's easy. You'll figure it out, and maybe you'll win yourself a nice skin just in time for the new year. All right, on to the video.
The AWP is a feared and respected weapon in Counter-Strike. Its mere existence changes how players navigate the map. It is a situational weapon, meaning it's only used at certain times and places on the map.
Already, the way this is being framed is kind of weird to me. Like, yeah, the AWP changes the game, and it is a situational weapon, and that is absolutely fine. I personally love the risk versus reward of the AWP. There's the high cost, there's the lower move speed, there's the harder ability to retake with the gun. It's just less versatile in general, and so while it is strong in some spots, it clearly does have its weaknesses. And already, I feel like the video is trying to make it seem like the AWP is ridiculous and can just do everything.
Let's say you're playing a game and your team is just not using your smokes at all and you're using your flashes, and there's an AWP on the enemy team. You're probably just gonna get shot on.
I don't even think the using no nades things is even really fully true. Especially if you're talking about games. Like, people are gonna miss AWP shots all the time, and you can just overrun the AWP. But also, I love that the nades and the team play in Counter-Strike is kind of what you need to counter the AWP. It's almost like this puzzle that you have to solve, which I think is great.
It's the only gun in esports that has a dedicated role named after it. And AWPers are basically CSGO's rock stars.
And even though, again, this is being framed negatively, this is actually why I love the gun. Seeing the level of a ZywOo or a Simple, the fact that they can reach such a higher level than everyone else with the gun as an individual in this video game is genuinely incredible. The skill ceiling is so high with the AWP, and yes, it is probably the most impactful gun, but that gives the ability for these individuals to step out in a game that is mostly a team game inherently, and I just think that is so cool. And this is even to the point where in pro CSGO, it's kind of well known now that stepping up from tier 2 to tier 1 as an AWPer is pretty commonly talked about as being one of the hardest transitions to make in the game. There are a plethora of AWPers who tried to step up to the top level and who never really stuck around or who never really made it because those rock stars are so much better than the standard AWPers. And I love that CS has this as a game. I just feel like so many esports have snowball mechanics or don't have that same ability for an individual to step up at any moment and win the round. And CS almost always has that.
But what if I told you that the AWP was actually a real problem for CSGO?
If someone said this to me, I think I'd probably ask if I could have whatever wacky tobacco they were smoking. Okay, no, seriously. Let's hear this out for a second and see what they have to say.
The AWP is present in almost every round played, both at a high level and a low level. Most games see something with a pick rate that high and consider nerfing it, but CSGO has kept things the same for years now.
Oh man, okay, there's a lot to dive into here. Firstly, the AWP is not even present in every round. I mean, let's be real. The AK and the M4 are going to be present in more rounds than the AWP because of the way the economy works. And even to get the AWP, teams specifically have to manage their economy and saves around it. I mean, we all know about my man James, right? There are other examples where this is clearly just not the case in other games too. Like when I played League of Legends, by the way, thank God I quit that game. Oh my God. If you have ever thought about playing League of Legends, do not play that game. It is the most miserable experience ever. I could only ever play it when I queued with a 5-man pre-made. But, okay, League of Legends hate aside, in League of Legends, when I was playing, if you didn't use the summoner spell Flash in almost any circumstance, if you didn't have that on, you were basically throwing. It was easily the best summoner spell in the game. And yet they never really nerfed Flash. So should Flash be nerfed? Is Flash too overpowered? No, it's a tool in the game which I think increases the skill cap, increases the ability of the game, and so I like it personally. I think the AWP really helps give that balance of team play and giving the individual stars that ability to break through, which, again, is what I just love about Counter-Strike. It's all about that balance, baby.
If you happen to be playing against a disorganized team that isn't using utility to knock you off of angles, you'll be pretty much unstoppable.
Here he comes once again. The first base is a Dren. He's going to hit the ground there as Cold. Oh, what? A jumping double from Cold! What is going on right now? How does he do this?
Again, we go back to this no nades means the AWP is unstoppable thing, which I really don't think is always true. This can be very map dependent, and the clip shown actually perfectly demonstrates that. If it is true that when the AWP holds the angle, it is ridiculously OP and you can't run it down, then why does coldzera drop off the apartment's angle? Why does he drop away from the van? It's because this is a closer range angle where there are players that can push his position. Even if he was up towards the apartments, he wouldn't want to repeat this because it is a closer range angle and he could actually get overrun. And again, there's something this video does constantly which is so annoying, which it kind of suggests that the AWP can be used by anyone and is too good, and then shows the most ridiculous examples of either pros having the most skillful plays of all time or having some of the luckiest rounds of all time, like this one, where coldzera could have maybe actually been overrun if he didn't hit a jumping double. We'll never know.
Your opponents can, of course, choose to just rush your position and hope someone survives, but that generally doesn't end well.
Keep in mind this map can go T-sided. Oh no, it's the rush up middle eco push.
I'm sorry. This clip is the worst example of making the point I have ever seen. This is a full eco. Let me hear them say it in the back. Let me hear you say it in the back. It's a full eco. They've bought a P250, and even in this scenario, in the longest range angle you will really ever get in Counter-Strike, on one of the longest range maps we have, it's still the AK that gets most of the kills. The AWP only gets 1 kill here. Is the AK OP? What are we doing? And again, the example here is terrible. But even if I just talk about the point overall, using nades to counter the AWP is what makes this game great. There's a constant war, a constant balance between team play and individual ability. And there's just the seesaw of having players sometimes step up in a round where they can break through the team play, where they can break through the execute. Sometimes the team overall might come out on top. It's kind of why we had the Astralis era, right? No one would really say that Device was consistently really the best AWPer out there. A lot of people would say it was Simple in that time period. But because there's the team play aspect of the game, Simple couldn't always win that many championships. You even look at ZywOo, someone who dominates with the AWP, but for the majority of this year has not been able to win tournaments because of that team play element of the game. Counter-Strike is so finely balanced, in my opinion, and you do not want to be changing the AWP. Simple even, arguably the biggest outlier in all of CSGO, still could rarely really carry solo to win his team events.
But the real problem with the Ops dominance is that there isn't actually as much risk as you think. It seems like there's no wrong way to use the gun.
Okay, clearly, theScoreesports have not seen my matchmaking games, because let me tell you, I have had some straight garbage rounds with the AWP. If you position yourself badly, you can miss one shot and die. Boom. That's an easy way of not using the AWP correctly. We've all seen people either play way too confidently with the AWP or just miss shots. The AWP is the highest pressure gun in the game. Because if you buy the AWP, you've spent so much money on that gun, and you normally only have one AWP on a team, that you kind of need to have impact, even though you know at the top level that the opponents will be doing everything they can to try and deny you having impact.
Want to play super aggro and demolish everyone in sight? Go for it.
He needs a multi-kill. First found. Twist aggressing. They have to double peek. He's getting his shots. He's hitting another one. Simple. No, Simple. That's unbelievable.
I mean, firstly, this is just Simple making an incredible play. We know that Simple's one of the best in the world. We don't need to go into that. We do need to go into the fact that I wouldn't even describe this as an aggressive play necessarily. He's in a post plant holding while the players come to him. That is very different from aggressively taking fights on angles and aggressively looking for opening picks. If you look at the T side, a lot of the players that actually have the best success rate in opening kills or have the most opening kills will oftentimes be riflers, because it is notoriously difficult for the AWP to have impact on T side at times. To the point where on maps like Inferno, a lot of primary AWPers actually just won't AWP straight up because of the design of the map and because of the difficulties you can have on T side with the gun.
Prefer a more tactical, measured approach? Knock yourself out.
Device that was already down there. Good find on the first one. Quick switch back over. Brings out the Safari Mesh for more. And he gets the second kill as well.
Losing firepower and Device with the ace. Sonic's happy with that one.
Again, small point here, but I am fine with a gun or a game in general kind of rewarding a tactical, measured approach. That's kind of a good thing in my eyes. And again, it's just the tone that makes it seem like it's a bad thing, when actually I think it's a good thing.
Can't decide which is better? Just do a little bit of both.
He's inside of this smoke. He's trying to play clever with this AWP, and he's got one. No! No way, Kenny. You gotta stop. Take it away from him. There's no way to shut him down up close today.
I just love how this part of the video uses Kenny, who stood in recently after being out of the scene for a while and who was pretty damn average because of how high level AWPing is. This isn't even me disparaging Kenny. It's just AWPers and the way they play, the way they take angles, the speed in which they can fire. All these things continually evolve over time, and you get the top AWPers who are somehow a cut above the rest, even though the gun is quote-unquote easy, which, again, I don't think it is.
Now, I don't know about you, but all of that seems pretty broken.
Okay, look, if I just show you B-roll footage of amazing plays with the Galil, it's gonna look pretty broken. All right, how about I show Refresh winning the 1v5 with the Galil? Is the Galil broken now? I could say the same things. Look, he can play aggressively with the Galil. He can play passively with the Galil. Also, sorry Liquid, by the way. You're kind of catching strays throughout this video. We saw the Cold Zero clip earlier. Now we're seeing the Refresh one. But still, you get my point. These are some of the best players in the world making some of the best plays. And if you watch the video, it's just littered with these sorts of scenarios, which just rub me the wrong way. It feels like you're making the point in entirely the wrong way and suggesting it is easy to do these things when it is oh so clearly not.
Even the pros can't seem to agree on whether the AWP is reserved for exceptionally talented, well-rounded players, or if it can literally be used by a chimp.
It's very, very broken, and anyone can use it, so that's like the most annoying part. Like, he can die to the worst player, and you're like, he has an AWP, like, it doesn't matter.
Okay, I have a very important intricacy to state here. Yes, anyone can use the AWP in a specific moment, but there are players who will consistently do way better or way worse with it. And there are obviously always trade-offs. I mean, even in overtime, teams aren't exactly running 5 AWP setups. It's not as versatile. It's not as good in retake scenarios, etc.
And the question becomes even more complicated when you look at someone who isn't primarily an AWPer, but still manages to frag out with a big green.
Stewie's on his own, but look at the time! Look at the time, there's 7 seconds to blow the bomb! They're trying to build pyramids, but there's no more play! Stewie's won the round! We're going to overtime!
Oh man, Stewie. This is probably one of the most overrated plays of all time. And look, I like it for the hype. I do. And in the context of the game, it was great. But honestly, I think it is quite likely a rifle would make this same play. FaZe have no time. They are out of nades, running back to this bomb site. As long as you win the first fight and just tuck into triple, you can deny the bomb plant and win the round here. But again, these are definitely moments where any player can AWP, because at the top level, any player is going to be decent. But there's clearly still levels to AWPing. Stu is actually kind of a great example of this, because he is someone who has kind of flirted with trying to AWP more in the past and hasn't really been able to do it. I actually looked back at some of the stats from previous tournaments, and at IEM Beijing Haidan 2020 North America, Jesus Christ, our tournament naming system was terrible. I know we had to switch to online. I feel like we could have changed some of these event names. This was an NA event though, and he had the most AWP kills on Liquid. He had more AWP kills than any other gun in this event, but he was still only the 4th highest rated player on the team. At the pro level, picking angles effectively and knowing exactly what plays to make and how to play ahead of what the opponents are doing is really hard, because the opponents will constantly be trying to counter whatever they think you're going to do with the AWP. And I think Stewie is a great testament of a player who probably never can become a primary AWPer. I think a lot of his value is in his aggressive rifle plays and his feel for the game.
When you see plays like that, it really makes you wonder, is the player just that good? Or is the AWP just that easy to use?
Again, the AWP is pretty easy to use if your opponents play badly and you at least hit your shots, and I don't have a problem with that. I'm fine with that, personally.
I don't think they have that easy job as people may think, and I think they actually have one of the hardest roles, because it's also one of the most expensive role in the game, and it's not rewarding that much in the economy-wise to have an AWPer. But then again, that AWPer can also change the whole game and the whole round itself.
Yeah, this is a great point from GetRight, actually. And for some reason now, the video's going on the other side of the debate somewhat and trying to offer counterpoints. But I do agree that the pressure of not having impact with the AWP is crazy high. And that creates this cool scenario where you can see the players who can step up and you can see the players who can struggle in those positions.
But the problem is that the AWP's pros drastically outweigh its cons. The gun basically defines the game.
But again, that's fine with me. Okay, this is like saying the goalkeeper in football is overpowered because he can use his hands and no one else can, right? Oh, the AWP is overpowered because it's the only gun that can one shot to the body. In my eyes, it's just part of the game. And having every gun be perfectly balanced is not what I'm trying to do. Especially because at the top level, it allows so much of the individuality we get in Counter-Strike. The beauty of CS to me is its initial simplicity and ease to watch, but then the layers of complexity behind every play. The reads, the mind games, the constant balance between the inherent importance of team play in Counter-Strike, but the ability for any individual to step above that at any time. And I love that the AWP gives that even greater tool for those individuals to try and make the difference. Because fundamentally, with the utility in Counter-Strike, I think ideally it is more of a team game. But it is just great that because we are humans and we make mistakes, those mistakes can be punished by an individual at any time.
The AWP's legacy is undeniable. It's the one gun that showcases how even a flawed piece of the puzzle can be crucial for seeing the complete, beautiful picture that is Counter-Strike.
And this is where the video gets really confusing to me towards the end, because the whole time, this video has been framing the question as whether or not the AWP is OP, whether or not the AWP is a problem in Counter-Strike, whereas I don't really even see that as a relevant question. To me, that would kind of be like saying, our quarterback's OP in the NFL, when that's a role we have defined, and it also provides so much of what makes the sport great. The quarterback is kind of the captain of the team. It's kind of the guy with a lot of pressure on him, and those are the stories we will oftentimes pick up on, and the players we will oftentimes really connect with and try and look towards. The other thing that frustrates me slightly with this video is it never really says whether he thinks the AWP is overpowered or not, or whether he thinks it's a problem if the AWP is overpowered or not. Like, I guess technically, if you're someone who thinks every gun should be balanced and every gun should be an option, then yeah, the AWP is overpowered, but that's not a game I want to create personally. But yeah, all in all, just kind of a confusing video. I'm not really sure what it was going for. And there's something that really irked me about the way the video talks quite a lot about how they think the AWP is too easy to use or too strong or maybe has too high of a skill ceiling or whatever. And then shows just like the best players in Counter-Strike history making some of the best plays, right? Like, this is not normal. These are not the normal players. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't know why, there was just something about this video that frustrated me quite a lot. I don't know if I fully got my thoughts out there, but I got most of them in there. So, hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be back to the normal content as soon as possible. Don't worry, you don't have to see my face for long. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Now, catch you next time.